Hello and welcome Neeraj Chopra on his comeback trail in the Diamond League in Doha, joining us live from the Diamond League. Abhijit Deshmukh covering it for Rev Sports. There you go. Rohan Chaudhary also joining us. You know, our Olympic sport, that whole chaska that we say, the passion that we have for Olympic sport. Gargi joining me. We are going to talk about Neeraj Chopra and the press conference. Yes, cricket will also follow. But let's start with what Neeraj Chopra said in that press conference when he was asked by an international journalist as to what will happen to his relationship with Arshad Nadeem in the light of all that has happened between India and Pakistan. And I thought Neeraj Chopra acquitted himself absolutely brilliantly with that answer, and that is why he's the perfect role model that India can expect. Here's Neeraj Chopra with that answer on Arshad Nadeem. Rohan or Gargi, whoever one of you, can you please play that answer for me?
On and off the field and have always shown the world how athletes can bring the world together. The recent events between both countries, have they had any effect on your relationship with Arshad Nadeem?
First of all, I really want to clear, I don't had very strong relationship. We, yes, as an athlete, we have to talk. I have some good friends from athletic community and from all around the world, not only javelin throwers, but also other events. But yeah, if somebody talk to me like respectfully, I always like to talk respectfully, and also yeah, but it's it's good that every javelin throwers are because it's like very small community and everyone compete for their country and everyone want to give their best. So it will be like this, but how it's going. But because of this, I don't think so. Uh, it will be not like something like before. But I always if somebody will speak respectfully, I will always give respect.
Just to sum it up for our viewers before I come to you, what Neeraj says is one, he was never very close friends with Arshad Nadeem. Two, if anyone speaks to him respectfully, he will reciprocate. Three, he also says that in the light of what has happened, it will no longer be the
Is the same.
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 And there he also goes on, and by the way, I'll need that clip from both Rohan and Gargi. I will need that exclusive conversation with Abhijit Deshmukh where he talks about the role of the Indian Army. I want to play that clip where Neeraj Chopra talks extensively about the role of the Indian Army. So get that ready, please. Shomik Chakraborty also joins us. But Abhijit Deshmukh, over to you from Doha. You were part of that press conference. What exactly, when that question was asked, give us more. Neeraj Chopra on Arshad Nadeem.
Well, I think when that question was asked, and Neeraj responded it very maturely and how he cleared out things because we have seen what has happened, and immediately after that question, the moderator says like no more questions else apart from the on the Diamond League. But I think Neeraj spoke out very clearly because we all know when the Paris Olympic happened, they were saying okay, Usher is maybe like a brother from another mother, something in kind of that. But I think he gave clear answer like Usher is just like any other athlete in the javelin circuit arena. And I think there are everyone wants to get some story out of. I mean, I would not like to say that, but when I saw the same person who asked the question, he came with in the media room with a a pro country flag on the armband. So that's what I saw. And then, it's not only that. After when I had an interview one-on-one, the same journalist was trying to talk to Neeraj. And then, I somehow know, like, this things, maybe they wanted to get something out of his mouth where, then they could make a story out of it, where Neeraj is speaking about this and that. But I followed where Neeraj and his agent was going on, and the journalist started asking question. I told agent like just please try to see because this journalist has been asking questions which are quite irrelevant and just get out of the heat something out from Neeraj. I think that's what I tried. But yeah, I think the way Neeraj has responded, I think it has
Was excellent.
clearly
Very
it was
diplomatic.
yeah, I mean it was excellent. Like you don't need to say anything.
Okay, let me also play the clip on the Indian Army. Rohan, if you've got the clip ready on the Indian Army, play that, and then I will go to Abhijit again. Please play that.
Live वाले।
नीरज, सबसे पहले मुबारक हो आपको। रिसेंटली इंडियन आर्मी ने लेफ्टिनेंट कर्नल का अवार्ड दिया है, उसके रिगार्डिंग आप कुछ कहोगे?
थैंक यू जी। हाँ बिल्कुल, काफ़ी टाइम से फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल बताना चाहता हूँ कि मैं प्राउड फील करता हूँ कि मैं इंडियन आर्मी का पार्ट हूँ, और 2016 एंड में मैंने इंडियन आर्मी ज्वाइन की थी। और ऐसा नहीं था कि मेरे पास और ऑप्शन नहीं थे, बट मैं मतलब एज एन इंडियन मैं प्राउड करता हूँ, और मैं चाहता हूँ था कि भाई मैं इंडियन आर्मी ज्वाइन करूँ। तो 2016 में मैंने इंडियन आर्मी ज्वाइन की थी, और जब से टोक्यो ओलंपिक में मेडल जीता था तो उसके बाद से बात चल रही थी कि भाई हाँ प्रमोशन की जाए, लेकिन एज एन एथलीट और एक प्रमोशन की उसमें शायद कुछ लेवल तक ही प्रमोट कर सकते हैं। तो अभी फाइनली काफ़ी टाइम से बात चल रही थी आर्मी में, और अभी कल ही उन्होंने पब्लिश किया कि मुझे लेफ्टिनेंट कर्नल जो है ऑनर रैंक दी है टेरिटोरियल आर्मी में। तो बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है, और मैं कोशिश करूँगा कि भी ऐसे ही अपना कंट्री के लिए, इंडियन आर्मी के लिए और अच्छा करता रहूँ। जो भी मेरा काम है उसमें मैं अपने इंडिया का फ्लैग जो है जितना ऊपर लेके जा सकूँ।
कितना प्राउड आप फील करते हो, नॉट ओनली एज ए ओलंपिक मेडलिस्ट, लेकिन आप इंडियन आर्मी का भी एक पार्ट हो?
नहीं, बिल्कुल बहुत प्राउड करता हूँ, और नॉर्मली जब भी मैं कभी मेडल जीतता हूँ तो हमेशा मैं अपना सेंटर में जाता हूँ, राजरीफ सेंटर में, क्योंकि वो भी बहुत अच्छे से सपोर्ट करते हैं, और मैं हमेशा अपने जवानों से, ऑफिसर्स से, सबसे मिलता हूँ। सबसे पहले मैं जब भी लैंड करता हूँ तो सेंटर में जाता हूँ, तो उनके बीच में मतलब और अच्छा लगता है शेयर करके अपनी फीलिंग, और कि कैसे मैंने मेडल जीता और अपने कंट्री का नेशनल एंथम बजवा पाया। तो वो फीलिंग बहुत अच्छी होती है, तो मैं सबसे पहले वहाँ पे जाता हूँ और शेयर करता हूँ।
नीरज,
The
So
best
sorry,
part about this guy
Gurila,
is
just
he's a genuine role model. What happened?
no, I think as the clip was playing on Ishan Marwa's physio was here. I said, come say hi to our audience, but he said no. he's he's a bit shy. Nearest Ishan Marwa, nearest physio
Ah,
was he
Ishan
just
was there.
came
Okay,
here.
Ishan was there. Okay, got it. But Abhijit, you asked him about the question, the Indian Army and that conversation. Tell us a little bit, because then I want to ask all my panelists about Neeraj Chopra, the role model. Look at the way he answered about the Indian Army, the respect, the grace, the dignity, and the way he responded to how and what the army means to him. Abhijit.
No, I think see what really like me, he said he had other options as well. And remember he said by the end of 2016. So I remember after the Rio, I mean before the Rio Olympics, he had been a junior world champion. So he had those options where he could have been, part of a corporate team. But I think he said, as an Indian, I always felt proud to be a part of, Indian Army, and that's why I joined it. And he said after the Tokyo Olympic, the promotion was used, but I think as an athlete, the promotion is there is some limit. But that has been now, given. So he's quite happy, and he said every time I win a medal or I go back to India, the first thing I do is go to the Rajrif, which is the Rajputana Rifles. I don't know exactly what how to put him, but he belongs to the Rajputana Rifles. So that's where he goes there and meet his officers or the Jawans. And he mentioned that how great experience he had at the meeting, and when the feeling of hearing your national anthem, how special it is, and that's what he goes on to share. But I think that's where Neeraj Chopra is. I think I've been following him. I remember 2018 Asian Games was the first time I met him, and since that time he's still the same. And every time he answers, he has a very simplicity that touches to our heart.
Shomik, Neeraj Chopra, the role model.
Yeah, absolutely. Someone who has won an Olympic gold and a silver and a gold at the World Championship has to be. He's arguably India's greatest ever sportsman. Viswanathan Anand will come close. Viswanathan Anand will come close. But as far as individual sport is concerned, we shouldn't forget the fact that uh, Leander Paes, the likes of Leander Paes and Karna Maleshwari also made tremendous contributions to Indian sport, although they didn't win Olympic gold. But when Leander won an Olympic bronze, when Indian tennis, India were considered backwaters as far as sports world is concerned. So, but given everything, someone who has won an Olympic gold and a silver and a World Championship gold medal, in my book, he is India's greatest ever sportsman. That is for individual sport. Team sport is completely different. People can talk about Major Dhan Chand or Sachin Tendulkar. That is team sport. But as far as individual sport is concerned, he is my number one,
Totally,
followed by
totally,
Rishi Anand.
totally agree. Rohan, you were there at 3 a.m. in Paris when he waited for the Indian media. For all of you guys to complete interviews, he waited till 3 a.m. in the morning. And that is what defines Neeraj Chopra for me. You heard what he said about the Indian army. Thoughts on Neeraj Chopra before I go to Gargi? Mute, mute.
Sorry. Well, this happens when it's about Neeraj Chopra. Whenever whatever interview I do, whatever tournaments I cover, when it comes to Neeraj Chopra, it's always a fanboy moment for me. And I've been following Neeraj Chopra since 2018 and before. And in this interview, also he said that he joined the army back in 2016, and then rose up the ranks, and now with this post. But the best part about Neeraj Chopra is Neeraj Chopra, before winning the Olympics and World Championship gold medal, and after winning the gold medals, he is the same human being. He is the same down to earth human being. He waits for the journalist. Whatever the time may be, how much tired he is always that grounded human being, waiting for the journalist to ask the questions, and he will always have a smile on his face before answering. And he has not only inspired millions of people, and he has inspired a generation of athletes, and that's showing in this Diamond League also. For the very first time, we have four athletes performing in the Diamond League with Parul Chaudhary and Kishore Jena and Gulveer. And he has also said that how a bunch of young talented Indian athletes are coming up to the world ranks. And I think that Chopra has a huge impact in this overall development.
Good point. Good point. Then I'll go back to Abhijit, but your first thoughts on Neeraj Chopra. And Abhijit, the next question will be you will cover Neeraj's practice, but this one, four Indians, not just Neeraj. There is Gulveer, there's Neeraj, there's Jena. So talk about that also. And by the way, I'm putting it. Yeah.
Is Manu there? DP Manu?
No. So I'm putting this on record. Abhijit is covering the Doha Diamond League from Doha. He's actually in Doha, was part of the press conference, and he will soon be at Neeraj's practice. And we will get you every possible update. Tomorrow is the competition. All updates from Abhijit Deshmukh from Doha. Gangi, your thoughts on Neeraj Chopra?
I mean, I think he's the kind of athlete that perfectly reflects Indian values. The answer that he gave on the question that was asked, I was not able to hear it properly. But
Basically, the question was same that will your
will
relationship,
your relationship with
Arshad
Arshad
Nadeem
remain the
change?
same?
Yeah.
And I think he answered it so beautifully, and he handled that situation very well. As Abhijit also rightly pointed out, that with the situation that is so sensitive, certain people are looking for maybe a headline or a controversy or something like that. But Neeraj Chopra handled it brilliantly, and he put it out very straight that it wasn't like we were best friends before. It's not like we're going to be best friends now, but at the end of the day, he is a lieutenant colonel. He is a representative of the Indian Army. He also is one of the biggest athletes India has produced. So he has to, also reflect those values. And he perfectly did that on that stage. He could not have a better role model speaking for India at this
It
time.
was about respect. And if you
100%.
see, that's what Neeraj Chopra stands for. He said, I will reciprocate the respect.
Exactly.
At the same time, he said, things are different. Abhijit Deshmukh, set it up for me. When is Neeraj's practice? When is his event? Give us details. Who are the other people participating? Give our viewers, because it's absolutely important. When we do multi-sport from on-ground coverage, give all the details.
Before that, can I play one picture?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Abhijit.
No,
Bolo.
Rohan wanted to.
I said before that we should play one picture.
Play it.
Ah,
Arey,
yes.
this is This is the 1 millionth one first picture. अभिजीत के पास हर दिन एक आता है. चलो अभिजीत बताओ.
I asked someone to edit my tummy, but no one did that. And I asked Neeraj, इसका क्या करूँ? Neeraj said, अभी मैं क्या बोलूँ? So, anyways, as you're aware, like it's May and it's extremely hot. Like this is not the best time. At this moment, it's 2:45 p.m. So athletes usually train in the evening here. So the update what I've got is Neeraj himself said he's going to practice around 6 p.m. local time. So that will be 8:30 p.m. India time. And Neeraj event is tomorrow at around 7:45 p.m. In the evening. So again, you do the calculation thing. It comes around 10:15 p.m. That's where the his events are. Unfortunately, it's not been what I've heard is not been broadcasted by in India Super. So, but I will be there to provide all the updates from his practice for from every the moment he arrives in the stadium. So that's how it is. But it's not only Neeraj, all the athletes are having their sessions in the evening. I met Parul Chaudhary as well in the hotel lobby, and then she said, yeah, it's just quite hard at this time, and it's so hot that I couldn't even walk for 5 minutes. It's so hot out here. If I walk for 5 minutes, I mean it's quite drenching out here, quite hot and humid conditions. But I think in the evening it's bit of okay. And his event is around 8 p.m. So I think till that time the temperature sets down a bit.
The 90-meter question is also something that you asked, Bijit, and we've been talking about this for 3 years now. Every year at the start of the season, we are like, boss, that 90-meter monkey has to go off your back. And now with Jan Zelezny, more so because he's made minor changes to Neeraj's technique. Did he seem confident? Before I go back to Shomik, Rohan and Gargi, did he seem confident? Did he? Because I've heard what he said to you. Don't tell me that. I want Rohan to play that also after this question, after Abhijit answers. But off the camera, body language, did he say how did Neeraj Chopra come across to you, Abhijit?
He was normal, Purit. I mean, we have seen him. He's the same. It is not like you see much changes in him. He is quite calm, confident, and nothing much of change, like too excited or too confidence is low, and he's मजा कर रहा है, आराम से आ रहा है. So I think he's looking confident, and I mean my basic question was to ask him, is there a major change? And one thing which he said is the time was less, so not major changes can be done. And he said, you can obviously hear in the clip what he said, but I think he's in good shape during the training time. Also, he had some good throws, so that's a good sign. And I think I would probably say it's just a high time now, because if you follow his few interviews, maybe last year as well, we all asked about him the 90-meter. What he said was more than 90-meter finishing on the podium is important. But when you come to Paris, you see an athlete, Arshad Nadeem goes on to throw almost 93, and Neeraj, he came second. But that time is when you have to throw, more than the 90 meters, and to get that mark, I think you have to start somewhere. I think if this is probably the best platform, this is the start of the season. Neeraj said, like, the South Africa event which he participated was like a practice for him. His actual, season starts now. I think what else than, the best of the energy you start for the season. And that's why I said thank you to Bodega for sending me to Doha. And I think that's what I'm expecting for Neeraj to go all guns blazing tomorrow.
I think there is a chance. I do think there is a chance. No, Rohan, can we have that 90-meter clip if you are ready with it? And then I'll go to Shomik again.
जीता है, वर्ल्ड चैंपियनशिप में मेडल है, आपका ओलंपिक्स में मेडल है, कॉमनवेल्थ, सब जगह पे. लेकिन एक जो लोगों की जो उम्मीद है कि 90 मीटर मार्क्स, तो उसके बारे में आपका क्या ख्याल है? आप नया कोच भी आपके साथ ही है.
जी बिल्कुल, काफी अच्छी चल रही है ट्रेनिंग, और अभी तक सब कुछ बहुत अच्छा रहा है. और सबसे अच्छी बात रही है कि परफॉर्मेंस कंसिस्टेंट रही है, और ट्रेनिंग बहुत अच्छी थी, पिछली बार भी सब बढ़िया चल रहा था। अभी सबसे अच्छी बात यह है कि जो मुझे कहीं ना कहीं थोड़ा ग्रोइन में कुछ इश्यू रहते थे, वो अभी ठीक लग रहा है और मैंने काफ़ी अच्छे थ्रोइंग सेशंस भी किए हैं कोच के साथ, तो काफ़ी अच्छा लग रहा है अभी और लग रहा है कि हाँ मैं रेडी हूँ अच्छी थ्रो लगाने के लिए।
कुछ टेक्निकलिटी पे कुछ डिफरेंटली वर्क हुआ है?
टेक्निकली थोड़ा बहुत चेंज किए हैं, जो थोड़ा बहुत लगता था, क्योंकि एकदम कोच ने भी बोला कि बड़े चेंज नहीं कर सकते, वो फिर बड़े चेंज करने के लिए इतना टाइम नहीं था, तो छोटे छोटे जो लग रहे थे कि चेंजेस कर सकते हैं उनमें थोड़ा चेंज किया है और काफ़ी अच्छा रहा। मतलब जो भी चेंजेस रहे हैं, ट्रेनिंग में बहुत अच्छी थ्रोज रही हैं और मैं काफ़ी एक्साइटेड हूँ कि भाई मैं कल अपना सीजन ओपन कर रहा हूँ फाइनली।
Shomik, 90-meter obsession, like 100 hundreds, like whatever. Uh, that's a monkey of this guy's back almost. Like he's got to do 90, got to do 90, got to do 90. Thoughts?
Yeah, see, this is my personal opinion, and I think if he wants to end up as one of the all-time greats in his field, not just in India but globally, one of the all-time greats in his field, then he will have to bridge that 90-meter mark, not just once, but a few times. Because it's like in cricket, if a batsman, when a batsman finishes off with a test average of 50 and above, only then he is considered an all-time great. It is, I mean, I will draw a cricket analogy being a cricket correspondent, but the fact, as I think, Neeraj Chopra will have to bridge the 90-meter mark a few times, not only once, because that can just once can be termed as a fluke. So he will have to do it a few times to end up being one of the all-time greats in his field, and this is absolutely imperative.
I just like to make one point here, Guriram. I mean, I've been following Neeraj Chopra since several years now. What I've noticed is when Neeraj Chopra goes on the track, he throws it in the diagonal direction. If you see, most of his throws is in the diagonal direction. Now, clearly remember Arshad Nadeem's throw at the Paris Olympics. Let's say if Neeraj comes up, he will throw in this direction. Arshad Nadeem is not that kind of character. He will throw sometimes here, sometimes here, sometimes here. But with the way Neeraj Chopra does this, he get a consistent result with that, and he ends up in some podium. Um, but that's my point was what changes has been done because throwing from this direction to those from the other direction, it takes a lot of changes, and that's why he said, Jan, his coach, has not forced him to make many changes. So I think, but that's one of the things which I feel in the future maybe Jan would be thinking because sometimes you need to check on the wind side as well. I clearly remember at the Paris when Arshad Nadeem throw went on there was partial, wind on that side. I think that's one of the factor. I think what would be Neeraj, style, because now the season is started, and even in the cricketers do that. They don't like to change their style when they're on a tour on their season has started. That's what with Neeraj. I think probably when this season ends at the Tokyo World Championship, maybe after that we might sense a change if there's required in it. But I think it was well pointed out that there wasn't much changes
I
made
mean,
at this
just
point.
one second, just to put it in context for our viewers, who's Jan Zelezny? Just for the sake of it, who's Jan
He's
Zelezny? I mean, not a random
he
javelin thrower, my friend. 98.48 is Jan Zelezny. Okay, so he's the greatest javelin thrower of all time. So that is the man who's now coaching Neeraj Chopra. So when you put stories in context, that is the guy who's making these minor changes. The best coaching the best. The absolute best coaching the absolute best. That's how good it is. That's the partnership. So if a Tendulkar coaches a Kohli for the sake of cricket, that's how the partnership is. Okay.
Yep.
So if a Roger Federer coach, so for example, if a Leo Messi tomorrow starts coaching a Lamine Yamal, that is the kind of partnership it's Jan Zelezny versus a Neeraj Chopra. Remember that. Yes, Abhijit, finish it before I go to Rohan
and
and
yeah, I think he said that it was initially different because the I asked him what was the style of Klose and Ian's style. He said, you know, we were not throwing in the mornings, but now since Ian is his coach, now we are throwing in the morning as well. And remember, Neeraj had a huge training camp in South Africa where they participated a tournament as well. But that's a big statement. Like, okay, in the morning also you throw. I think these small things can make a big impact on the throw. But I think I'm really looking forward for it. It's just kind of a history, when such a big event at Diamond League, Neeraj is participating, and with the new coach, how it will affect Neeraj's performance.
uh, you know, a lot of people saying brilliant job, good job. That is not the point. The point is so sad that we are the only people who will do this. And that is the sad state of Indian journalism. Look at it from the other side. How many people will do IPL? How many people will? Neeraj Chopra, for God's sake, he's your greatest Indian athlete. Greatest. You don't want anyone to go to Doha. What is the point? People will say, Arey, he is your greatest Indian athlete. And that is where we will disrupt. We will make sure that our people travel everywhere to cover every possible global event. That's what it is. You will say, okay, you will not get that many numbers. Who cares? Who the hell cares? Don't give a shit about numbers. It's as simple as that. We will cover what is good about Indian sport and bring out the best coverage. Rohan, you reckon 90 meters? Just a matter of time, as Shomik said multiple times. You think Neeraj can do that?
Yes, of course. And I was just about to mention the point that you just said about Jan Zelezny, and we know that how great of an athlete he was in his time, perhaps the greatest ever javelin thrower in modern times. And uh, he, three Olympic gold medals, three World Championship gold medals. He has more gold medals than silver and bronze medals combined. So that shows the level of an athlete he was in his playing times. And yes, of course, back then the javelin was a bit different, and the modern javelins are the aerodynamics of the modern javelins are a bit different. But of course, throwing something of 98.48 is not a matter of jog, and he has done 90 plus multiple times. So I think with minor tweaks in his technique, as I said, that he has done minor changes now, and because the time was short, but down the line with a long-term project with the Asian Games coming up next year, and of course the LA down the line, of course Neeraj 90 meters is just a matter of time. If tomorrow Avjita uh, will have a taste of history, and sadly he will be the only one witnessing that. But of course, if that happens, I would be really what to say. Of course, happy also and jealous also of Avijita.
But
I'm
Rohan,
just
I
keeping
think
the
I
fingers
think the
crossed.
best way to describe Jan Zelezny is still Sergei Bubka of javelin throw,
And
isn't
it
it?
was 52 times the man has thrown over 90 meters. 52 times.
That's
Come on, boss. 52 times.
Sergei Bubka of javelin throw.
I mean, when you are talking about these people 52 times, that's what Jan Zelezny has thrown the 90
Yeah,
or crossed the 90-meter mark. I genuinely think the minor tweaks that he's done, I think the comeback, more importantly, he said he's relatively injury free, Abhijit Deshmukh. He said the
Yeah,
groin
groin.
injury
He said,
isn't
yeah, yeah.
bothering him. That for
That's
me was the
positive.
high point of your interview. That the groin injury. Rohan, can you play that
Yes.
clip where he says, "Mujhe wo groin injury abhi nahi hai." And that is what I think is the big takeaway, because even in Paris, that is the problem that was bothering Neeraj Chopra. He threw 89.45. He threw 89.34. But that little thing, the groin injury was bothering Neeraj Chopra even in Paris. That's the point, and that's where I think he's turned a new leaf. He did not have to get operated. Last season, at the end of the season, I remember Adil Sumariwala and I kept chatting whether Neeraj will need that operation or not. We were very concerned, but he's been able to make it back without that. So hopefully he will be able to survive. And if he does, next year, massive Asian Games, and that will be one heck of a competition. There will be the Commonwealth Games, there will be the Asian Games in Nagoya, and that's where Neeraj Chopra once again will be under the spotlight. Plus, of course, the World Championship and the Diamond Leagues.
This year, yeah.
Abhijit
The
Deshmukh,
ultimate championship as well. The ultimate
pardon me,
championship also start next year.
which one?
The ultimate championship.
Ha
Means
ha.
it's a new
Yeah.
championship that has also started
Plus
in
all
India
of the
as well.
multidiscipline games. Plus all of them. I do think Neeraj Chopra has it in him for LA. I absolutely think that he can certainly medal in LA. And if
No,
somebody does that,
just
three consecutive Olympic medals, fingers crossed for him.
I
Absolutely mind-blowingly
uh,
brilliant.
a statue.
Just like to
A
add one more.
statue. If he does that, 3 consecutive Olympic medals, he deserves a statue.
Even that would be too little for
This
him.
will be unbelievable. I mean, an Indian athlete, 3 consecutive Olympic medals. He is the greatest Indian athlete of all time. Period.
100%.
No
And
one
also
comes.
Bharat Ratna.
Just like to add one thing here. Hello.
हाँ, बोल ना.
Yeah. If you see how many tournaments Neeraj plays, and I asked him question, he said not more than 8 to 10. So he said हमारा जो sport है वो पर्दे के पीछे मेहनत वाला है. So imagine he out of the 365 days he goes on to like train every day, and then it's only 8 to 10 days where he comes and act or perform what he is supposed to do. Imagine, and he said how tough it is for the athletes. The life is. There's not only, I mean, you have to train. There could be injuries, other issues. But imagine, whole year you train and you only get 8 to 10 days, and out of that also 6 throws every that night. It just shows how difficult it is for them. And he said we are a season. There's a season to compete. It's not like you have the tournaments throughout the year. It's just the season which starts right now in the May and it ends about September in the year. That's what is showing how difficult it is for him. And I would say, we are very lucky to have a gem of an athlete like Neeraj Chopra, who's not only, making us proud, bringing the glory to the country, but also as a human being, is one of the best sports athletes I've met across.
Last round of questions. Abhijit Deshmukh, what time is practice today? One more time. We'll expect updates from you. What is it India time? Give us the details. Obviously, we will expect whatever you get, stills, visuals, training, whatever is possible within permissible limits. We will expect that. Also, the other Indian athletes, please, not just Neeraj Chopra, but also Jena, also Gulveer, some of the other Indian athletes. Abhijit Deshmukh, what time is practice?
Yeah, the practice thing you just said to me, it's just about 6 p.m. local time. That's about 8:30 p.m. India time. So I'll go there and then try to see what possible stills or things I can get. I think the same time, there's a bus that goes for the athletes from the hotel where
And his event is tomorrow 10 p.m. India, right?
10:15 p.m. So the local time is 7:43 p.m., which is around 10:13 p.m. India time.
So, folks, anyone who is wanting to follow, 10:13 p.m. India, you will get every update from the stadium from Abhijit Deshmukh, and thereafter, of course, the press interaction with Neeraj Chopra and the one-on-one if he wins for sure. So that is something you will get here on Rev Sports. Rupayon, everybody, Abhishek, Pavan, Syed Nizamuddin, everyone who's kind of thanking us. That's what we will stand and do all the time. It's not just cricket. We will do cricket. Of course, we will do cricket. But we will do every sport. That means badminton, more boxing, hockey. Today, Gargi did a story on Indian hockey, Pakistan. In fact, I'll take closing comments on that. Shomik Chakraborty, I hope you've read the story. Pakistan now likely to miss out on the Asia Cup in Rajgir between August 29th and September 7th, and also the Junior World Cup in Madurai and Chennai at the end of the year. 24 teams, Pakistan likely to miss out. So, if that happens, imagine what the thing is. Most likely they will not be given visas. Hockey India will be guided by the government of India. Pakistan likely to miss out from the Junior World Cup and also the Asia Cup. That's the way what it will cost Pakistan sport. Shomik Chakraborty, closing comments, and then I'll wrap it up with Abhijit Deshmukh and that comment on the Indian Army.
But I have a question that it is the Junior World Cup is still an FIH event, right? So from that point of view, it's a global event. So can Indian government deny visa to Pakistan?
Absolutely.
I have no idea.
Yes.
Just I am asking this question.
Yes, they did. 2016 was some people there is this thing. Pakistan was denied visas. Malaysia was the team that came in place of Pakistan, was accommodated, and this is a government call. 24 teams are given. FIH at this point in time, if I understand, will not move the tournament outside of India. Chennai and Madurai have spent a hell lot of money. Her copy from, why don't you say?
Yes.
Give the details.
So the details here are, and I've been speaking with obviously very sources who are very close to this development, and the directive is very, very clear. The directive is the fact that both the Asia Cup, Junior Asia Cup, and Junior World Cup and the Asia Cup preparations are in full swing. When it comes to India, when it comes to Hockey India, preparations are in full swing. But when it comes to Pakistan and Pakistan's participation or involvement in both of these tournaments, Hockey India is completely under the directive of the government of India. They will not be taking any decisions independently when it comes to anything involving Pakistan. It is up to the government India to give all those directives. There has been no intimation as of yet when it comes to Pakistan and their involvement. But at the same time, we know that Pakistan will most likely miss out on the Junior Hockey World Cup.
No,
Later
Gargi, my question, no, Gargi, my question is that, like, for example, in a football World Cup, when a
Yes.
country, the host nation, signs a memorandum of understanding with FIFA, and wherein they give the undertaking that the teams that are qualified, they would be allowed entry to that respective to the host nation. A memorandum of understanding is required to be signed. So my question is, in this case, Hockey India will have to sign an MOU with FIH or not, that the all qualified teams will have to be allowed to participate in the tournament.
It will eventually
Because
be a government, Shobik.
Exactly.
It will be a government call, and Hockey India or any organization for that matter will have to be, binding on that, because this is a very exceptional situation. My understanding of the matter at this point in time is pretty simple, that Hockey India will be guided by the Indian government, and if the Indian government does not give visas to Pakistan, possible, given the escalating tensions and what we've witnessed from Pakistan or what we have had to suffer, it means the ball will be in FIH's court. Who is the 24th team? Will they replace Pakistan with someone else, or what they do? Because their other option was to move the tournament away. Not going to be possible. Madurai, enormous money spent, tournament is on. Chennai, already infrastructure, everything has been spent. 2023 Asian Champions Trophy. So it's done. From what I understand, Pakistan is the likely team to miss out. That's my understanding of the situation. Okay, on that note, let's close the show. Abhijit Deshmukh, continue to report from Doha. Neeraj Chopra is the cynosure of all attention, but other Indian athletes also in the fray. Shomik Chakraborty, Gargi Rao, to everyone watching. Rohan Chaudhary, thank you very much for joining us.
before we sign up, just one thing.